the night the wall came down. The year was 1989, a time when the world was in flux, and winds of change were sweeping across Eastern Europe. Berlin, a city divided by an imposing concrete barrier, was the epicenter of this transformation. For nearly 3 decades, the Berlin Wall had stood as a grim symbol of the Cold War, separating families, friends, and a nation. On one side lay the vibrant West Berlin, a beacon of democracy and prosperity. On the other, the austere East Berlin, under the watchful eyes of the communist regime. Every day, the people of East Berlin lived under the shadow of the wall, yearning for freedom and connection. Among them was Anna, a young woman who had grown up knowing only the divided city. Her parents would often speak in hushed tones about the time before the wall, when they could visit friends and family across the border. Anna, now in her early 20s, had never experienced that freedom. She had heard stories of daring escapes, but the risk was too great. Her family, like many others, had resigned themselves to life in East Berlin. However, change was in the air. Mikhail Gorbachev's reforms in the Soviet Union had set the stage for political shifts, and East Germany was not immune to the growing desire for change. As summer turned to autumn, the streets of East Berlin buzzed with whispers of protests and calls for reform. On the evening of November 9, 1989, Anna sat with her family, watching the news. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Earlier that day, an East German government official, Gunter Schabowski, had made a confusing announcement about new travel regulations. The details were unclear, but the implications were monumental. Word spread quickly. Crowds began to gather at the wall, their numbers swelling with each passing hour. Anna and her family, driven by a mix of curiosity and hope, joined the throng. The air was electric with the energy of thousands of people united by a common dream. As they approached the wall, they could see border guards, unsure and overwhelmed by the sheer number of people. There were no clear orders, no definitive instructions on how to handle the situation. The guards, caught between duty and empathy, made a fateful decision: they opened the gates. The scene that unfolded was one of jubilation and disbelief. Anna watched as people surged through the openings, tears streaming down their faces. Strangers hugged, danced, and sang. The wall that had separated them for so long was now a canvas of celebration, covered in graffiti and expressions of freedom. For the first time in her life, Anna crossed into West Berlin. She marveled at the lights, the shops, and the sense of possibility. As dawn broke, the once imposing wall lay in fragments, a testament to the power of the human spirit and the longing for unity. In the days and months that followed, the world watched as Germany took its first steps toward reunification. The fall of the Berlin Wall was more than just the collapse of a physical barrier. It was a symbol of hope, resilience, and the enduring belief that, even in the darkest of times, the light of freedom can prevail.